in the same hybrid individual. So the precise procedures will depend upon the species, what type of species they are going to develop, improve the variety, and any pre-existing knowledge of the genetic control of the attributes. Third phase is in the early, what happens, segregating generations, the breeder select the progeny of the crosses so as to remove those with the undesirable or inferior genotypes, progressively moving towards a smaller number of elite lines. So this third phase is the largest part of a breeding program and involves identifying the products of genetic segregation and recombination and finding the best of the bunch as reliably and as quickly as possible, while minimizing the risk of failing to retain a superior line. So final fourth phase is the final breeding phase. This consists of establishing the worth of any new genotype over the existing variety, bulking up sufficient quality seeds for distribution to farmers, and finally release a new variety. And this last phase also consumes significant breeding resources, since although only a small number of advanced lines remain in the program each year, they have to be evaluated in an extensive field trial program at many locations and large seed quantities produced. So this was very much in brief about the different phases of the plant breeding programs. So basically we understand this uh, plant breeding program into four different categories or types. So first thing is mass selection, second is pure line selection, another type of breeding is recurrent selection, and fourth is clonal selection. So let us quickly have a have a look into all these four, and let us start with mass selection. So this mass selection is an alternative approach that has no doubt been practiced for thousands of years, and it is simply to eliminate undesirable types by destroying them in the field. So through this mass selection, undesirable characters are totally eliminated or discarded out in the field trials itself, and the results are similar whether superior plants are saved or inferior plants are eliminated. Seeds for the better plants become the planting stock for the next season. So mass selection with or without progeny test is perhaps the simplest and the least expensive of plant breeding programs. So it finds wide use in the breeding of certain forage species which are not important enough economically to justify more detailed attention. So the mass selection, here the seeds are collected from usually a few dozen or to few hundreds from the desirable appearing individuals in a population, and the next generation is sown from the stock of a mixed seeds. So this procedure sometimes is referred to as a phenotypic selection as well, and it is based on how each individual looks like. So mass selection has been widely used to improve old land varieties. For example, A is a variety of one particular area. For example, A is a variety of a Bellari. So we need to improve this old or very conventional, very popular variety which the Bellari people or the Bellari farmers are using to cultivate. So this mass selection will be used usually to improve an old land varieties. So varieties that have been passed down from one generation of farmers to the next over a long periods. So mass selection can be is carried out usually from the first year to 8th year. So what happens in the first year? So before that, let us quickly know why mass selection. Yes, definitely we will. Most of the plant breeders, they'll go for mass selection because it has a advantage of improvement of local varieties. So through this mass selection, the local varieties sometimes in local varieties there is sometimes a mixture of several types which may differ in flowering maturity, time or disease resistance, even height of a plant or a height of a spike or color of a grain, height of a plant, etc. So elimination of poor quality plants help to get uniform performance of the variety. And also there is a scope of purification of existing pure line varieties, and also through this mass selection we can produce a new varieties from heterogeneous local land races. So due to these advantages, most of the breeders, plant breeders, they will opt for mass selection. Of course it is a time consuming practice, but the results will be very reliable and fruitful. So let us quickly see so as I already told that mass selection process is a 8 years process. So let us see what happens in first year, second year, and the consequent years. For in the first year, a large number of approximately about 250, 300 to 2000 of plants are selected on their performance and phenotypic characters like vigor, type of a plant, whether it is disease resistance or not, or the length of a spike, color of a grain, or any desirable traits. And all this, the seeds are composited or collected together, okay, in the first year. In the second year, these composite seeds are then planted in a preliminary yield trial, okay, along with the standard variety, I mean to say along with the local varieties as checks. Okay, the seeds from the first year are sown or grown or planted in a preliminary yield trial along with the varieties as a standard varieties as a checks. Standard varieties, I told you earlier that if you want to improve a variety of a Ballari, which most of the farmers are being used popularly, so that is used as a check here. Okay, the composite seed in the second year, the composite seeds are planted in a preliminary yield trial along with the standard varieties as checks, as well as the variety from which the selection is made to determine whether there is any improvement or not. So in this second year, the composite seeds as well as checks are grown simultaneously. Then in the third to sixth year, so the composite seeds from the previous year, that is from the second year, are collected and these seeds are evaluated in a coordinated yield trial in several locations. For example, these seeds, composite seeds which are collected from the first year, and these seeds are grown in the as a check along with the composite seeds in the second year. So after 1 year, the seeds from the second year are then collected and evaluated in coordinated yield trial in several locations apart from outside Bellary, or it may be outside throughout India as well. Okay, so in different geographical regions and under different weather conditions, in order to check its establishment, whether the same phenotypic desired characters we get or not, or whether these seeds are suitable to grow in various geographical regions or various weather conditions or not. To check this potential, to check this ability of the seeds which are acquired from the second year are grown in several different localities, in several locations within the same agroclimatic zone. So initial evaluation trial, it will be for 1 year, then uniformity regional trial for 2 or more years is done. For the initial 1 year, evaluation trial will be done for 1 year, then uniformity regional trial will be done for 2 or more years if required. Okay, so this is the process of third year to 6th year. Okay, so in the 7th year, if the result is suitable for cultivation and if the performance is well, then the certification of the seed is necessary and these seeds are released by Central or State Variety Release Committee. And the procedure of this mass selection, whenever is coupled with the progeny testing, then that definitely helps in maintaining the purity of pure line varieties. So for this procedure, in the second year, the individual plant progenies are planted individually, and poor performers are rejected here. So this was all about, and the remaining progenies are mixed together to constitute a variety. So the process may be repeated every few years in order to keep a variety pure as often as it is found necessary. Okay. So I already told the process involves selection or retention of a large number of individual plants on the basis of superior phenotype, composting the harvested seeds without progeny testing. So here, but in pure line selection, we will come to know in the further slides. Overall, the procedure of mass selection and progeny testing is same. Pure line selection is same, but in mass selection, progeny testing is skipped. This step is not followed. In the pure line selection, progeny testing is followed. So that is the reason it will take 8 to 10 years progeny testing. Okay. So in the mass selection, the process involves selection or retention of large number of individual plants on the basis of superior phenotype, composting the harvested seeds without progeny testing. The mixture of seeds is sown in mass to raise the next generation, and this process continues till the desired level of uniformity is achieved. Here you can see different steps of mass selection. So initially, similar and superior phenotypes are selected, approximately 250 or 200 to 2000 plants, and in the first year, and the seeds are harvested from the individual plants separately. And next, the harvested seeds from individual plants are grown in rows or plots. The inferior or segregating progenies are rejected, and the desired characters produced progenies are selected for next cultivation. The seeds from the remaining selected plants are harvested together. And this all happens in third year. What is that? I repeat, in the first year, similar and superior phenotypes are selected, around 200 to 2000 plants, and these seeds are harvested from the individual plants separately. In the second year, the harvested seeds from the individual plants are sown in rows, and the inferior or segregating progenies are rejected. And in the third year, the seeds from the remaining selected plants are harvested together. The composite seeds are used to preliminary yield trials along with standard checks. As I told, local popular variety. In the fourth to seventh year or sixth year, multi-selection coordinated yield trials are performed, and in the eighth year, superior phenotypes are released, new varieties, and seeds are multiplied and distributed to the farmers. So mass selection is effective when the population has these following characters. So it is only effective or successful when the population has the following characters. Which are those characters? Characters like high genetic variability for different traits, and the characters should be highly heritable in nature, and the crop is grown under low population density. If only one particular character is chosen, if all these criteria are present in the population, then the mass selection is very much effective. Yeah. We have to know about achievements after this mass selection program. Mass selection was extensively used by the farmers and agriculturalists for improvement of self-pollinated crops, particularly self-pollinated crops, before pure line selection came into existence or practice. So subsequently, it was completely replaced by pure line selection as a method of crop improvement, and all the available pure line varieties in self-pollinated crops are maintained through the mass selection only. An example of different varieties produced through mass selections are the varieties of groundnut TMV1 and TMV2 of Madras, RSI and T22 of UP, sorghum variety, K122 of potato, and many more are the results of mass selection. Yeah, the second type of plant breeding technique is pure line selection. What is this pure line selection? Pure line selection generally involves three or more less distinct steps. Step number one is numerous superior appearing plants are selected from a genetically variable populations. Step number one, I repeat, numerous superior appearing plants are selected from a genetically variable population. Second step is progenies of the individual plant selections are grown and evaluated by simple observation frequently over a period of several years. When the selection can no longer be made, third phase is when the selection can no longer be made on the basis of observation alone. Extensive trials are undertaken involving careful measurements in order to determine whether the remaining selections are superior in yielding ability and other aspects of the performance. Any progeny superior to an existing variety is then released as a new pure line variety. So much of the success of this method was seen early in 1900s depended on the existence of genetically variable land varieties that were waiting to be exploited. So they provided a rich source of superior pure line varieties, some of which are still represented among the commercial varieties. Okay. So in this case, pure line selection, a large number of plants are selected from a population of self-pollinated crops. These are harvested individually and their individual progenies are evaluated, and the best progeny is released as a pure line variety. So the pure line variety is a progeny of a single homozygous self-pollinated plants. So we should know now why pure line selection. Why? Because pure line selection it can be used in hybridization program. Pure line selection method is most applicable in hybridization process. That is nothing but selection from segregating generations of crosses. The pure lines in such cases may be selected using pedigree, bulk or backcross methods. So in my next presentations, I'll be able to bring out with what is pedigree, bulk and backcross methods, and why pure line selection means. Due to this pure line selection, it will be possible for any breeders to improve the local varieties. So it is more favorite method of improvement of local varieties which have considerable genetic variability, and also old pure line varieties can also be improved. Pure line varieties become variable with the time. So as the time passes, it becomes the traits becomes variable. That is, off type plants appear in pure line. From such genetically variable pure lines, often again pure line selection method is applied to make it more stable. And in cases like where the new variety is just introduced, pure line can be practiced. So introduced varieties are often subjected to pure line selection to develop suitable varieties for that particular locality or the place. And also it helps in selections of new characteristics in a pure line. So sometimes new favorable characters which were not considered earlier or the previously can be selected from the existing varieties through pure line selection method. So due to all these reasons, farmers, they prefer to go for pure line selections. Yeah, so these are the different steps which are used in pure line selections. So I told it also has 8 to 10 years. In the first year, what happens? A large number of plants, maybe around 200 to 3000, are selected from local or a desi varieties or any other mixed populations, and the seeds are harvested from individual plants separately. The selection is made on easily observable characters like flowering, time of maturity, whether the plant is resistance or not, the presence of awns and height of a plant, color of a grain, height of a spike, all these things. So based on this, a large number of seeds of a desi variety are or any local variety or any other mixed populations are harvested from individual plant separately. In the second year, progenies of individual selected plants are grown separately with the proper spacing. The progenies are observed visually and poor. So weak or defective progenies are rejected. Selection is made for very much desirable characteristics. So disease epiphytotics may be created to test progenies for disease resistance. If necessary, this process may be repeated for 1 or more years. Okay. In the third year, this step consists of replicated yield trials for critical evaluation of a progenies. The selected progenies are planted in replicated trial using the best variety as a check. If enough seeds are available, then the preliminary yield trial may be conducted. In the fourth year, replicated yield trials are again conducted by the breeder using the best variety as a check. The promising strains are observed and harvested for coordinated yield trial for further evaluation. And from the 5th to 8th year, the promising strains are evaluated at several locations along with other strains. And the most promising strains are then identified and released as a new varieties. In the 9th year, what happened? The best progeny seeds are multiplied and released as a new variety through the seed certification. So these are the simple steps of pure line selection. So one step is added here when compared to the mass selection. In the mass selection, progeny testing was not there. In the pure line selection, in the second step, progeny testing is included. That is the reason one extra year is being taken in this pure line selection when compared to the mass selection. So some of the examples of improved varieties by using pure line selection in India are wheat. Example to name here are few of them are NP4, NP6, NP12, PB8, CL3, K46, and rice Vidisha 61, Patni 1, Icepuri, BP53, and cotton also. Due to this pure line selections, improved varieties have been able to establish or release. Example are Coimbatore 2, Gadag 1, and in Bali, new varieties like C250, C50, K12, tobacco NP28, NP63, etc. are being able to establish or bring out the varieties by using this pure line selection in India. Yeah. Third technique in plant breeding is recurrent selection. So this recurrent selection is a cyclic method of population improvement, but it does not directly lead to the release of the cultivar. It is only a cyclic method in the field. What happens? There is a repetition or a cyclic method of a population improvement program, but in this method no new cultivars are released directly. The basic steps in a cycle of recurrent selection are intermating, evaluation, and finally the selection. Recurrent selection in its various forms is a method to increase the frequency of favorable genes for yield by allowing crossing and recombination to take place by only between the best performing selections. Steps in recurrent selections are first, the individual plants are selected from an open pollinated source population and selfed. And these selfed plants are evaluated at the same time for the character or the different group of characters, desired traits are being selected. Second step, the plants of inferior performance are rejected. Third step is the selfed plants in step 1 with the superior progenies are propagated from the retained portion of the selfed seed. In the fourth step, superior progenies are placed in crossing block to obtain as many intercrosses between the progenies as possible. In the fifth step, the intercross population is sown as a basis for further cycles of selection and intercrossing as in the steps 1 to 4. There are three main methods of recurrent selection. One is simple recurrent selection, second is reciprocal recurrent selection, third is recurrent selection for combining ability. So, in the simple recurrent selection, this is a flow diagram of simple recurrent selection. So, this method of selection involves visually selecting single plants from a open pollinated source population and selfing them. Here, selection visually the plants are selected, single plants are selected from open pollinated source population and these plants are selfed. The progenies of the selections are again then sown in a crossing block in the following year, in the second year, and allowed to freely intercross. So, the intercross population is sown in the following year, in the third year, and a single plant selection and selfing is carried out again. The progenies of the self plants are sown again in the following year, that is in the fourth year, in the intercross block. The second cycle of selection and sowing of progeny is called the first recurrent cycle, and the cycle can be continued until there appears to be no further significant advance being obtained by the character or the characters under selection. Because the method does not involve progeny evaluation, it is suitable only for characters of high heritability. Okay. So, in the first year, what happens? In the first 2 years, that is original population is taken into consideration. So, it is desired to improve this population of a commercially important characters. So, commercially important characters, what are the required characters from the commercial point of view? So, only those desired characters are to be improved, are to be taken into consideration. So, selfing a large number of plants in the population is done. So, when they ripe, select the superior plants amongst the self plants. Okay. So, in the second year, these selected self plants are again planted in the crossing plot that is called intercross plot. So, the plants from the self selected plants in the intercross plot field in the next year. So, All these make possible intercrosses amongst the progenies. This can be done only by hand pollination or mixed plantings to achieve the maximum level of nature cross pollination. In the third year and fourth year, these composite population seeds, intercross seeds are taken, and these are again grown in the another field. So, in order to get the self seeds, and these seeds are so intercross and seed as bulk population as above year in as in the second year. Again, a self large number of plants in the population, and when ripe, select superior plants from amongst the selfed plants. So this goes on, the cycle goes on till fifth year. When we should stop? When until when until the heritable characters are seen. So this process of selection should be stopped unless we get the high heritability characters. Okay. So this was all about simple recurrent selection. So second method in recurrent selection is recurrent selection for combining ability. Recurrent selection for combining ability. So this method is method of recurrent selection involves selecting single plants, that is SO plants, from a source population. So selection of a single plant from a source population, then selfing them, and at the same time crossing them to a tester. Okay, the tester is either a heterogeneous population or a homozygous line, and the progeny of test crosses to it are evaluated comparatively for the character being selected. So crosses that result in high progeny mean performance is said to have a good combining ability. Either one cross or generally cross all crosses involving the parent. So selfed seeds from SO plants which are good combiners is then sown in a crossing block in the field, and the progenies are either intercrossed by hand or are allowed to intercross naturally, and the harvested seeds is then sown, and a further cycle of selection and test crossing can be carried out in the recurrent selection. So this recurrent selection for combining ability has been shown to be the useful method for improving yield and adaptability of a number of cross-pollinated crops. Okay. So this is a flow chart showing the methods. What are those the methods followed in first year to 6 years. Reciprocal recurrent selection. So so this is a reciprocal recurrent selection. So reciprocal recurrent selection involves the use of two genetically unrelated open pollinated populations. Here it involves two genetically not related open pollinated populations, that is, for example, A and B. Random single plant selection and their selfing is carried out in population A, and at the same time they are crossed with a random sample of plants from population B. So the same procedure is also carried out in a population B. The progenies of these reciprocal crosses are evaluated in replicated trials for the character or characters being selected. Selfed seeds from SO plants, that is random single plant selections of A and B populations that give superior progenies in these crosses, are then sown as a separate A and B populations and allowed to intercross within each population. The bulk progenies of intercrosses are then sown in separate A and B populations, and further a cycle of selection is carried out. Numerous cycles of selection is carried out. So it may be now decided after a second cycle either to proceed to the third cycle or to use the selected populations to produce a commercial hybrids. This reciprocal recurrent selection is achieved by making crosses between selected A and B populations. So another type of selection in plant breeding practices is clonal selections. Clonal selections. So there are some agricultural crops and some of the larger number of horticultural crops also. These are asexually propagated. So some common examples are sugarcane, Solanum tuberosum potato, Ipomea batata sweet potato, taro that is colocasia, Dioscorea yams, mentha ginger, and even Curcuma domestica, Musa paradisiaca, banana that is, and many more plants, and almost all the fruit trees. Almost all the fruit trees. Name example, it may be mango, apple, citrus, peaches, lychee, many more, and many other ornamental plants and also grasses varieties are brought out by this clonal selection. So many of these crops, they have showed reduced flowering and seed set. Example, sugarcane, potato, sweet potato, banana, and etc. And some varieties of these crops, they do not flower at all. But many of these crops flower regularly and show satisfactory seed set. However, they are propagated asexually to avoid the negative effects of segregation and recombination, both being inevitable consequences of sexual reproduction. So this clonal selection is a process of 5 years. So as I already told, in some of the plants seeds are either lacking or they have low viability. So in such condition, the vegetative parts are used for the propagation, and these propagated plants are a clone. Thus, a clone, what is a clone? A clone is a group of plants produced by vegetative propagation of a single plant, or all the vegetative progenies of a single plant are known as a clone. As I already told, these many of the crops and particularly seeds, these are propagated through vegetative parts only. Generally, their commercial varieties are sterile due to non-flowering habits, meiotic irregularities, or other genetic causes, and produce no seeds. And all the plants of a clone are the offsprings of single plant, which are descended by a mitosis through many things. Through the process of vegetative propagation and possess the following characteristics. The characteristics of cloned plants are: all the members of a clone are identical, or there is no variation within a clone, and all the members of a clone are homozygous, and the clones are stable as a pure line. The phenotypic variation within a clone is due to environment only and not due to genetic variations. And these are the characteristics of a cloned of a clone. So one is all are identical and there is no variation within a clone, and all the members of clone are homozygous. Clones are very much stable as pure lines, and the phenotypic variation within a clone is only due to environment. And clonal selection is the method of selection of desirable clones from the mixed population of a vegetatively propagated crops. And this clonal selection is one of the method for improving vegetatively propagated crops like banana, citrus, mango, potato, sugarcane. And majority of the fruit can be successfully cloned by using this clonal selections. So so clonal selection has different steps. So that is first to 7th year. So what happens in the first year is first year, from a mixed variable population, few hundreds to few thousands of desirable plants are selected, and a rigid selection can be done for simply inherited characters with high heritability. So plants with obvious weaknesses are eliminated in the first years. So the seeds obtained from the first years, in the second year, the clones from the selected plants are grown separately, generally without replication. So this is done in the view of a limited supply of propagating material for each clone, and because of the large number of clones involved, they are grown separately, generally without replication. And the characteristics of the clones will be more clear now than in the previous generation, when the observations were only based on the individual plants. And here in the second year, the number of clones is drastically reduced and inferior clones are eliminated. And the selection here is based on visual observations and on the basis of clonal characteristics. 50 to 100 clones may be selected on the basis of clonal characteristics in this second year. So in the third year, preliminary yield trial is conducted, and which is suitable checks included for comparison, and few superior performing clones with desirable characteristics are selected for multi-location trials. At this stage, selection for quality is also done. If necessary, separate disease nurseries may be planted to evaluate the disease resistance of selected clones. And from the 4th to 6th years, replicated yield trials are conducted at several locations along with a suitable check, along with a suitable popular local variety. And the yielding ability, quality, and disease resistance and other desirable characteristics or traits of the clones are rigidly evaluated. The best clone that is superior to check in one or more characteristics is identified for release as a new variety. In the 7th year, the superior clone is multiplied and it is released as a new variety. Okay. Yeah. Some of the achievements of the by this clonal selection are clonal crops have been developed in India. Example are Kufri Red from Darjeeling, Red Round and Kufri Saved, Safed from Fulva have been isolated in potato and are already under commercial cultivation. Kufri Red was developed from a diseased free plant of Darjeeling Red Round. Bud selection has been done in several fruit trees like mango, Bombay green in banana, and Yuvraj blood red in sweet orange, and many more. So dear friends, this was all about different methods or the techniques used in plant breeding programs. So I hope I have been, with a brief information, I have been able to make you understand different processes. And friends, see you all in the next video lesson, coming up with another concept in plant breeding. So I hope I'll be coming out with the history or pre-Linnaean, post-Linnaean and modern era of plant breeding programs. Thank you.